first years of life are a time of great opportunity for napping, playing dress up, and growing healthy brains. Unlike adults, whose brains are relatively stable, children's brains are incredibly malleable, with experiences and relationships having an exceptionally strong influence on their future. A child's genes may supply the basic plan for brain development, like the blueprint of a house, but the quality of the environment in which the brain develops has a huge influence on its initial architecture, like a house that's built with high or low-grade materials. Positive development relies not only on physical, but psychological health as well. Both the quality of a child's relationships and the amount and type of stress a child experiences can have a major impact on brain development. While the relationship a child has with their parents will always come first, having multiple attachments with friends, neighbors, teachers, coaches, or extended family, even the weird ones, can provide significant benefits. Access to multiple nurturing and stable relationships early in life can lay the foundation for sound mental health, achievement in school, positive social skills, and a sophisticated understanding of emotions and morality. It's no surprise that kids need love and attention, but what really matters is the type of attention they receive. Despite claims to the contrary, there's no credible data that specialized videos and music benefit early brain development. Much more important are real-life, give-and-take interactions with nurturing, attentive adults. When a young child naturally reaches out through babbling, gestures, and facial expressions, and adults respond with the same kind of speech and gestures, no matter how embarrassing, it produces measurable improvements in brain architecture. These serve-and-return interactions are essential to healthy development. But early childhood is also a time of special vulnerability. The effects of negative relationships on development can endure just as easily throughout adult life. If positive relationships are lacking, brain architecture literally cannot be properly built, which can lead to lifelong negative effects. Prolonged separations from familiar caregivers or repeated detaching and reattaching to people who matter is also emotionally distressing and can lead to lasting problems. This is an example of the second major factor that shapes the architecture of the growing brain: stress. When you think of stress, things like rush hour traffic or looming deadlines come to mind. But the scientific definition of stress is different. Stress is how your body responds to the situations you confront, whether you're from the city or the country, young or old. During development, the stress response involves the release of hormones into the bloodstream, which can affect learning and behavior, in good ways and bad. For developing brains, the timing, duration, and intensity of the stress response determines whether it's considered positive, tolerable, or toxic stress. Positive stress is short-lived and involves only mild elevations of stress hormones. This type of stress is a normal part of life, and learning how to cope with it is beneficial during childhood and beyond. If the stress response is more frequent and intense, it can still be tolerable if the negative effects of the stress response are counteracted by the benefits of stable relationships. However, if the stress response is intense and sustained, with little support from caring adults, it can become toxic to a developing brain. Things like neglect, a caregiver's mental illness or substance abuse, or long-term severe economic hardship all could cause a toxic stress response in a child and weaken the underlying foundation of brain development. Without the buffering protection of supportive relationships, stress hormone levels can remain out of balance, literally interfering with developing brain circuits in a way that can have lifelong effects. But kids exposed to early stress aren't doomed to develop stress-related disorders. Just as toxic stress can negatively influence a child's brain, appropriate interventions that promote stable, healthy relationships can help it recover. So surrounding kids with loving adults is doing more than just giving them a happy childhood. It's actually helping their malleable little brains become the most they can be and grow into productive members of society. Once nap time is over, of course.